Okay, if you may have found his way back. Okay, with us? Okay, thank you. Just give him a few seconds to just look for it. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. Okay, this is the relevant he is representing today, and I'll allow him to represent himself.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pamela Shorter, and I'm here to represent MCM Group. Our core business is offering residential homes that are fully serviced and that are in gated communities. So our mission value here is to develop and enhance communities, developing fully serviced residential homes in gated communities where all basic housing needs are met, providing all amenities. To change the face of land development with one-stop property plans, and to make ownership of residential homes accessible and affordable to all. So having been here for half of my life, I've struggled to actually to own a property in Zimbabwe. So with this scheme, it's come about that at least it offers affordable residential homes, which should pay probably about $230 per month for the next 75 months, which makes it easily accessible, and it's a one-stop property development. We aim to restore confidence in the real estate industry through our core values, ultimately ensuring beneficiaries will get the title deeds to their properties.
Your Excellency, thank you for having us, and we are here again. But just to highlight this issue, which has been dogging a lot of us here, I think we can know the value of a home when we are at home. So we are going to make this as affordable as possible. You don't need to pay a deposit. We structure a payment plan to 75 months at just $230. So come on guys, let's do it. We have 750 stands sold already in Maronia at the moment, and there is 400 to 500 left to go. So we will develop this plan and expand it throughout every town and every city, every village in Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Address His Excellency's point, we've all been putting together the contact details of everybody who has spoken this afternoon. So if you do want to make contact to reach out, we'll be able to do that. I believe there is a sheet going around where you will be invited to put your contact details down. So if you do want that list of contacts, if you do find that list, put your details down and we'll share them with you. We are now going to invite from the Sports, Youth, Arts, Culture and Recreation Cluster, Mr. Marshall Boy.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Ambassador Katani, the Embassy staff, the religious leaders here with us today, the Diaspora business leaders, the various sponsors and partners to the embassy that are here, and my fellow diasporans. I want to thank you all for coming to this event today. Once again, I want to thank you, Your Excellency, for having this event today and allowing us to share some of the work that we've been doing over the last 5 years. It has been a very good journey for me to work on this last engagement program. And I want to also acknowledge all fellow cluster leaders that have spoken before me for the great work that they've done. Mine is to do with youth, sports, and recreation, and also arts. So I'm privileged to give you a brief feedback of some of the good work that we've done collaboratively together with colleagues that are not here. We've been successful over the 5 years. In 2019, we took a diaspora-based football team of Zimbabweans that were born here, and some that grew up here on a tour to Zimbabwe. The delegation, thank you. The delegation of 23 players and officials. We planned the trip with the embassy and with Dr. Mjaidi here, and it was a very successful trip. We received very well. It was part of an affirmation of the re-engagement of the diaspora itself. I think the re-engagement process, people limited to international re-engagement, but also the government's plan was to re-engage with all people that have been in the diaspora. And I'm glad to say, Ambassador Katani, you lived up to the expectation. All the good work that is here was never here before 2018. It's greatly appreciated. You've been a vehicle on which we have enjoyed to ride, to provide the necessary support to our country. So continue the good work that you are doing, Ambassador. We're sorry. To round up also, we have people with us that were also involved in youth work in Zimbabwe. I think with my organization, Team Zimbabwe UK, over the last 5 years, we've been instrumental in donating football kits and footballs to almost over 100 community football clubs in Zimbabwe and also schools. And this work has been done not by us alone, by most of you who've been equipment to us, Byron of Mukau supporting us, and this work would not have been possible without the bigger community. I want to say, as a community, I'm so grateful of how our togetherness has given birth to a lot of the successes that we've had from here today. And I want to encourage you to continue to support all the initiatives that are happening. To those of you that have not joined the clusters, please, you can see me and the Deputy Ambassador. We need more people there. The clusters are mirrored to the ministries, so there's a lot of space for everyone to come if you're pulling your weight. And I want to say also that we have been also successful in nurturing people here that have been invested in sports and recreation in Zimbabwe. I've got one colleague here who's with us, Leon. He's actually running the diaspora, who's actually been working with us. He started with the football academy, but now he's got a football team that is actually playing in the national Zimbabwe PSO League for women, the women's team. He needs our support. Let me, if you can stand up, please, so that people can see you, those that need to be here. You need to in this cluster also, I want to thank our elders that are here, especially on the culture part, Dr. Mafunga and Professor Shi. They've been working with us, supporting with the ideological education of what Zimbabwe means to us, the national DNA. If you need to know more about the history of this country and our history as a diaspora community, Dr. Shi and Dr. Mafunga are here. They can school you to that, and they'll be happy also to attend any events that we may have that need people to come in and share information about the history of our country, the history of our struggle, the history of where we are today, where we were in 1980 and where we are today. They can tell you more, so get in touch with them. And I want to also thank Dr. Nox Chitil, who we were coordinating the clusters with from Chatham House is here. You can set up the Chitil. He's also with us. He's been very busy lately, but we started with him, and he was very instrumental in giving us the structure and supporting with a lot of information and knowledge. He's pretty much our colleague is pretty much my extensive library. If I'm confused with anything, I pick up the phone on social policy, community integration, and everything. He's been also very helpful. So feel free to interface with him. He'll explain more about social policy, what he does. He's played an influential role. Your Excellency, I also want to thank you for facilitating a lot of people that have been coming to supporting youth initiatives in Zimbabwe, people that come. So one of the things that our cluster has been most successful is in establishing organizations, philanthropic organizations that want to help develop youth in Zimbabwe. So if you've got access to equipment or information, please feel free to get in touch with me. We can connect and come here to the embassy and help to do the necessary formalities for donations. If there are donations that needs to go to Zimbabwe, we can sit down. The new regulations now under Zimba, but we can find a way of supporting you, support our country, because the real engagement is about development. When the president says no one should be left behind, it's not only people that are in Zimbabwe, it's also you, the diaspora, that you are partakers of the development of our nation. Without you, me, and everyone that is here, Zimbabwe cannot develop. With Dr. Kasi here, musician, and we have a lot of talent, we have business people. So if we put our actions collaboratively together, I think we can be very successful in this country. I'll end also by just giving one highlight which was very critical and important. His Excellency organized a meeting for us with the Minister of Youth, Sports and Education, a few weeks ago. We had a very successful meeting. Those of you who are into football and you're worried about the state of our football, the meeting was very fruitful. We have been working with the Minister and SRC in Zimbabwe to try and resolve the issue that is developing our football at this moment in time. I can reassure you that we are doing a lot of work behind the scenes, engaging CAF and FIFA, using the diaspora connection that we have, where we have access to go to conferences, we've connected with people. And the FIFA delegation that went to Zimbabwe was very happy with the progress that we have also given on what we have discussed. So we are working hard and frantically to ensure that our football is brought into fruition. We are actually in the process of developing our World Cup 2026 strategy in Mexico and the USA. We've already started scouting our diaspora football talent from here with aim of making Zimbabwe qualify for the 2026 World Cup. It is possible. It has happened. When I started this work with the support of the embassy, we had very few diaspora players in our national team. But from the year 2015, when we started harnessing our football talent, Zimbabweans that were born here and those that come that were young and that are featured in the Premier League and the Football League, we had a huge success. And I want to tell you that, bar the suspension now, but since 2015, Zimbabwe has never failed to qualify the Africa Cup of Nations. They have consecutively qualified on 3 occasions, cases of the 7 diaspora players that are also in our team. So if you have a son or a daughter that is playing football and interested in representing Zimbabwe, feel free to see me. Fellow diasporans, once again, I want to thank you and the youth.
It would be so refreshing not to have to support Ghana Nigeria. Let's help march the way back that dream. That would be so good. Okay, next I'd just like to welcome up Daniel Gibson, who's in the film industry, just to share some of the work that he's doing there. So if you can kindly give Daniel a round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not able to speak about my best. I just want to thank the ambassador, His Excellency, for bringing us together in this beautiful house. I want to thank all our senior members here, and the rest of everyone here who is in this house. It's a great honor to be here myself. My name is Daniel. Born in Zimbabwe, in Guerrero, Midlands, and been here in the UK for just about 25 years. And for now, as we all know, most of us diasporans, this is now almost like one from our home. So I am fairly at home. And I just wanted to say it's been a great opportunity for me to be able to get in touch with my roots. And then even when I say that, just to be able to go to this house, I feel like I'm really in Zimbabwe because of all the people who see, which reminds me people that we have amongst ourselves. And even though we make business, but I feel home, and that home welcome is what makes me be very proud to be Zimbabwe. Now, the reason why I'm standing here today is because I'm one of the fellow Zimbabweans who always managed to do something for my country, even though I'm far away from Zimbabwe. I still feel like wherever I go in the world, there's no way I can avoid to Zimbabwe, no matter what. Just my accent was being here for 25 years. I'm sure most of you did where I speak. To speak like Zimbabwe. And to me, I know some people will look at me in a negative way. Where can this be? Like, fluent English. I'm like, no, I'm Zimbabwe. And that's what makes me, and so who I am as a person. Also, being someone who is into creative media arts, one of the biggest challenges I want to highlight was that speaking in Zimbabwe, I found myself losing casting roles. As I was trying to act, is one of my biggest passions. I'm into the industry, acting, filmmaking. And I said to myself, no, there's always something I can do. What can I do? Is to use the weakness I have as an advantage to actually be able to develop my own production, which will be able to target those people or promote my culture, my people, my own identity, my own stories, which I feel on the global stage are not being told well enough. Where I do know that Zimbabwe is one of the most areas of film making days. We've had big films in Zimbabwe. We can go east in many films. When I was young, we grew up watching even, I think it was 18 film Russian film, Science. So to me, I felt like being in Diaspora, my own identity was not being reflected much. And I wanted to do something more authentic. And also, the reason why I'm here today and the support I've been getting from these managers, the ambassador, has been tremendous. And most of our peers here will be also supporting who knows me in person. I feel like it's something I'm so proud to be Zimbabwean and to be going to the world, being a part of Zimbabwe without being fearful and being myself as authentic as I can. So I'm only here to say if there's anyone who might be perhaps in the film industry as well like myself, or who has got anything to share, or who want to talk to me, I'm more than very happy to have a chat with you today since I'm here. Not only that, I had a lot of things going on currently. I'm just coming from Sony meeting right now. I came running this meeting because I had a very, very big project going on with Sony. The pastor just asked me when we're back, because I was in the US, I was in Hollywood, another project waiting for me. And what I'm trying to do is, again, I'm trying to put a footprint of in Zimbabwe. I'm trying to put a footprint of selling my home story, my identity, my culture. So I feel that fellow Zimbabweans, there is a way we can be able to promote our culture abroad and be able to make ourselves have a footprint, a global footprint. I was listening to my brother here about football, what he's doing. Mr. Dore is doing an amazing job about football. But I think it's the same thing which our ambassador will be very happy to see us promoting our culture and try to make Zimbabweans to be more to occupy the national space at the grassroots. Not necessarily just to become professional, but just to have the sense of being part of the global world where we can go to also be involved in a lot of different projects that's happening. So with these few words, I want to say that's all I have to say today.
Well done, Daniel. Well done. Sorry, I must observe, but Daniel has been very humble. He's huge in filmmaking, from being an actor to now, directing films and so forth. And he's got so much in the form of networks within the film industry. And I believe we can utilize this. I do hope when we start to network, those who have an interest can touch base with him. Right now, they are on a big group with others in the United States, in South Africa, as I said, in India, in Nigeria, and elsewhere, of course in Zimbabwe. We're really working towards setting up this film studio, film or media studio village in Bidford. But then obviously we will have some outposts in the provinces, in Hawaii, around the Eastern Highlands and elsewhere. But we really want to maximize on this expertise and knowledge that people like Daniel have gained over time. And I see it because every time he's sharing with me. One time he's in Cannes, in the south of France, in the film industry. The next is in Hollywood. The other is, all over the place. And all these networks, we do have Zimbabweans as well who are out there in those areas. And we just need to work together and bring this to the fore so that it can be, as he indicates, a vehicle for various other things such as culture and on. Thank you.
You were listening to the movies there, it reminded me of Nerida. Remember that one? So we do have the talent, and we've done it before. I think we just witnessed the workshop for Hollywood, so that would be good if we could realise that. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Shambira from the War Veterans Association, and he can share some business.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, clergy, and colleagues and friends. Good afternoon. To start with, there is a message which the ambassador delivered and did not deliver, and delegated downwards, and I'll deliver that message. And this message is from none other than His Excellency, the President of Zimbabwe, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa, and it's related to the war veterans, or the liberation veterans of Zimbabwe. And this does not only mean the combatant veterans, but all of us as veterans of Zimbabwe. Firstly, I would like to draw you back to the names we used to be called as veterans in the struggle. Manamkoma, Ogwa, Oslambe Ova, and this Slambe Ova means Tinendara Guru. So when we used to visit my villages, say we are getting to a village, and because we did not provision, like the Smith regime soldiers were provisioned with canned foods and all that, we relied on the masses for food. So when we arrived, strategically, maybe one or two would enter the village, and then how many are you? We did not disclose our numbers for strategic reasons. And because that information might spill to the enemy, and then you become sitting ducks. So therefore, Selabe offer, meaning we see by name offer. That was part of it. What I mean by that, trying to narrow in to the key message from His Excellency, is that since 1980, we had Liberation Veterans Act, and there's been compensation for the combatant veterans, and there has been pensions to the war veterans. However, looking back at the struggle, who fought in the struggle? Every Zimbabwean was involved. Who was left out? When we entered the village, Slambe Ova, there was a little boy who would pass on information. There was what we called the Mujiba, the collaborator. There was the Chimurido. All these are names which are colloquially They might sound derogatory and all that, but their role in the armed struggle, their role in the armed struggle has been ignored in our history and in empowering them. So the new dispensation saw it fit, and all this input was inputted by you, the people of Zimbabwe. You inputted because there was a cry. My son went to Mozambique, but simply because he wasn't trained, he wasn't recognized as a war veteran. My son was Mjiba. They asked him not to cross to Mozambique because he was so intelligent, he was locally trained, and he fought for 4 years in the bush. He was not recognized because the first act only recognized the combatants and veterans, of which I'm one, and of course, I did benefit. And I sit right here in the UK. I'm not only a liberation war veteran, as some people I think. But to introduce myself, I'm a legal practitioner, and I'm a specialist in international trade law. I'm a lawyer, and I'm a former civil servant. The reason I'm here today is to give you the message, which ultimately has come from His Excellency. I'll read the opening remarks only, and then we'll drive through. It's His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of Zimbabwe Defense Forces, called Idi Mnangagwa, special message to the veterans of the liberation struggle. The introduction. The Ministry of Defense and War Veterans Affairs is mandated by the government of Zimbabwe to administer 4 acts, namely the Defense Act, Chapter 11, 12, Veterans of the Liberation Struggle Act, Chapter 17, 12, War Victims Compensation Act, Chapter 11, 16, and National Heroes Act, Chapter 10, 16. The vision of the War Veterans Affairs Department under Ministry is to be efficient and effective public service provider for the veterans of the liberation struggle and their dependents, heroes' dependents, and war victims by 2030. Someone did ask me, by 2030, no, but I'm already 70, I'm a war veteran. No. That boy who was 7 in 1980 or in 1978 is being catered for, is being included. So this is an inclusive. You see, from 1 act to the 4 acts I go on. In 2018, the Ghanaian people of Zimbabwe, through the preamble of the new constitution, acknowledged the heroic role played by the veterans of the liberation struggle, namely war veterans, ex-political prisoners, detainees and refugees, non-combatant cadres, and war collaborators in fighting against the draconian oppressive colonial system, which unleashed injustices and inflicted pain on the people of Zimbabwe. The preamble of the Constitution of Zimbabwe exalts and extols the brave men and women who sacrificed their lives during Chimurenga, Umvuyela, and national liberation struggles. Section 23 and 84 of the new Constitution explicitly direct the state and all institutions and agencies of government and at every level to accord due respect, honor, dignity, and recognition to veterans of the liberation struggle. Before 2018, the government was administering 2 acts, the War Veterans Act, Chapter 1115, and the Ex-Political Prisoners, Detainees and Restrictees, Chapter 1710, separately. These acts were only benefiting war veterans and ex-political prisoners, detainees and restrictees, who were entitled to a monthly pension, education benefits, medical benefits, and funeral grants, leaving out war collaborators and non-combatant cadres. This message is now in public domain, and all the statutes are there for anyone to inspect and be informed. It is therefore an ongoing exercise to vet all the collaborators so they can be included. There are projects which are there currently, is promulgated in these statutes, a 20% entitlement to certain things. There is mining, public assets have been ceded to the fund. There are funds which have been allocated in all provinces. The tourism sector, properties in different areas, covered there with others. Land, memorial hospitals, 2 already under the construction, or the locations that were identified, and so on. So this is everybody being included. And so we are here in the UK. I've got colleagues here, I've got comrades, Comrade Jambara over there, all veterans in the medical field, engineers and all that. We are here as war veterans, but some people might think, oh, Shaman and AK goes now anything. No. I'm a professional just like anyone in here. So we are here to help, because I was privileged that immediately in 1980, I got a job, I found a job, I went back to school. First, I graduated in the University of Zimbabwe and came to the UK University of Kent and BPP University where I did my master's. But I mean, there are some who are not privileged. So those are the ones who want to reach out. So in here in the diaspora, we do help them. Reach out to us, and then we include you, and then we move forward together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shambira. Next, we just want to welcome up Mike Mr. Shire, who's the founder of Zimbabwe. So if you give Mike a round as he comes up.
Hello, I'll be 2 minutes. Very quick. The whole house. I represent Black People's Zimbabwe. Now, I've spoken about Zimbabwe for many years, since we launched it just before COVID. And unfortunately, our first flagship homecoming was arranged for April 2020 got disrupted by the first lockdown and then several lockdowns after that. So we only got to formally launch it in April last year in July. Now, Zimbabwe is a platform that we've created to get Zimbabweans all come together and show how much they're trying to do. So that's the first part. Secondly, it's also a platform that gets people on the ground to tap into the success stories that we have with us. And then finally, it's also a platform to have biannual homecoming that we can, whereby every 2 years we try and go home, have a whole month of April, this is our time of the month, whereby we have a whole month of events and activities, whereby people from Diaspora come home and engage with different activities that they can do. So, for example, when we were doing April 2020, they committed to participation during that calendar month. Anybody in this room, or the different classes that are presented, they can actually fit on this calendar that will be produced. So, April 2024 is the next very first homecoming that will be by so, this is what I'm going to say. At the end of July, we're going to announce Zimbabwe officially. We have a store at Snippers, which is in the 29th of July. So this is just for the UK side of things. At the end of August, we're going to announce the calendar, whereby you're all invited to get in touch with us and request whatever events you want to have happening in April 2024. We do have a website, zimsrive.com, where you can go in, register with our database first, and then from August, you can register an event you'd like us to have for you for April. What we'll do as Zimsrive is we'll market it for you, we'll bring the traffic, the Diaspora does go home for this $7. And Zimsrive is actually a very global platform, so always about it. One thing I'll finish off by saying is that I personally am moving back to Zimbabwe at the end of this year. And what we're trying to do with Zimbabwe is to try and get or participate in the future saying we try and go for big cooperation. I'm just about time in the community and doing something within the local community. And there's so much we can do without involving politics or government. Where we can make such a difference. And many classes in here are already doing that. And we can do that as individuals, whereby we help local communities where we came from. Thank you very much.
2 minutes. Thank you, Mike. We would like to just welcome Dr. Mjazi, who is the tourism officer here at Zimbabwe House, just to come and share what's been happening here with regards to tourism. Good afternoon. Your Excellence, Bishop, our invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me, Your Excellence, to recognize some friends who have come to support the diaspora. I met my friend earlier from the Zambia tourism who said, what is going on, Felicia? We really want to copy. So Zimbabweans, you are the one in front. Everyone copies you. I also have friends who have never been to Zimbabwe in tourism. And they say, before we travel, we would love to come, and they are here. But, okay, you may come in front, please. And then our friends from Eritrea as well, coming to support the diaspora. They have very exciting business opportunities, Your Excellency, that we can mix and work together as people from Africa and moving forward. Maybe you can also introduce yourself, just 1 minute, because I was told I talk too much. So, 1 minute.
Hello, I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you all, Your Excellency, and ladies and gentlemen. We're working on a project called We Are Free, and this is the team together. We have an event manager, one of the project managers. It's basically about bringing the African diaspora into one space. We're building an app. It's called Uniting the African Diaspora into One Space, so we can engage correctly, empower one another, and most importantly, elevate and do business within Africa itself. So please follow us on We Are Free.
Good afternoon, everyone. Felicia should warn me. I didn't know I was going to ask you to come here. My name is Nina. I'm a travel agent, and I specialize in destination weddings and honeymoons. I don't have lots of experience with Zimbabwe, but I believe it's such a beautiful and such a romantic place. And I would definitely like Hello everyone, my name is Polegati. I'm the founder of CDG Virtual Assistants. I met Felicia this week in one of the expos that we had here in London, and I was very interested in what Zimbabwe is doing, and I would love to talk to you guys after the session. I'm going to come to one of you guys and see how we can work together and actually educate people.
There's only one, Your Excellency, who is missing. She's our child from Zimbabwe and a lecturer at Greenwich University. Her name is Pamela.
then about events. We were this week at the Chelsea grounds, and then yesterday we were at meetings. And the focus on projects was on Africa. But when you look at the number of Africans within that context, it just says that we need to work harder. And many of us in the diaspora, we have this opportunity. So together we can help each other to take this to the next level. His Excellency helps us. We have activities coming this year. We have Sanganai, where our lady who's just spoken will be coming to Zimbabwe for the first time. They will help us to showcase to the British public. And then in November, at the backdrop of World Travel Market, His Excellency recommended that we have the women and girls. Men are also welcome, but it will be the first women and girls conference in London to be together as women and girls to talk to each other. What is it about Zimbabwe that we want to show? And before I leave here, ladies and gentlemen, may I just ask you to take your mobile phone now, please. And then on Google, just type in www.zimbabwetourism.net. It's so easy. Are you in? The first one to be in might go to Victoria Falls, you know. And what does it say at the top?
Welcome to Zimbabwe.
I'm hearing beautiful. Please go on.
Visit Zimbabwe.
Yes, please. Wherever you are, you have so many WhatsApp groups. Just let them know at this moment you are in Zimbabwe House. And this is the website where they will get all the information provided by the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, the Ministry of Environment, Tourism and Hospitality, and the Zimbabwe government itself. If you want any information on investing in Zimbabwe, it's all on our website. Now we talk about AI, we talk about internet, social media, it's all on the website. So please, 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 you are our tourism ambassadors. Please share. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming to the conference.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last but by no means least, we would just like to invite Professor Shiri, who will talk to us about the work he's doing around the return of remains and icons of the ancestors. So we welcome Professor Shiri.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be given just a couple of minutes to say hello and thank you and rest of this. I also came on Zimbabwe because at the height of the anti-Zimbabwe rhetoric in this country, it felt like I was the only one who was homeless. And I'm not really trying to play any spirit, I'm just trying to say I'm very grateful for the words of encouragement that I got from many Zimbabweans when the going got tough. A few years ago, I was invited to join the Norwegian Academy of Artistic Research, of which I became what my granddaughter calls the ball, now the professor. And within that work was the responsibility to supervise post-colonial work anywhere of visual arts. I think of myself as a visualitionary in the sense that I have a visceral hatred of injustices, especially in the field of knowledge. And one of the things that underpin our cluster is to do with the injustices that arose from the way in which the remains and icons of our ancestors were taken away from the country and are still here. It sounds like an old story, but it's a very modern story because it's integral to understanding who we are. And and are connected not just to Abiania and the story, because that experience touched every single family in Zimbabwe. And many of the ancestral remains and icons are lying in private collections and cupboards and so on. And in Zimbabwe, we have been working with Dr. Mahachi and the people in the museum industry to try and identify what the many remains and icons of our ancestors, which are still languishing in libraries, in academic institutions, and so on. But there are other lines of what the cluster could do, which is where you come in, which is to look at in the friendship circles, especially if there are any friends that whose parents were connected with colonial history. Just ask them what is in their private collections. Because every single family, every single person that was employed by not colonialism in a way of recording everything that they come across, every single family that worked for Cicely Rhodes or Jameson and so on will have collected artifacts that they got back. So it's not just Maneanda, it is also your ancestor, it is also your neighbor, it is also every single aspect of culture and society. That's the significance of our work. For future histories, it's connected to what museum studies might do. It's not just collecting out